All right, it says we're live. So, welcome from the Crossroads of America talk show shooting with disabilities. We also get on the guns, politics, or anything else that crosses my mind. Answer questions from the audience. Just put them in the chat or email me at rickslifeasiseeit at gmail.com or spottedrick at gmail.com. I have a Patreon page, PayPal, and all that good stuff. All the links are down below. So, there we go. That's my spiel done. Let's see. First in tonight in the room, over an hour ago, so you're out of luck, the gun snob, was Kingpin. Then G Webbs, Vanessa, Gun Loving Grandpa, Mystic Guns, Defense Head.
Your camera's on Patriot. There you go. Sorry about that, Rick.
That's right. The Gun Snob, Jason Stewart, Sabrina's here. So everybody's starting to get in. Let me introduce my panel who I have at the moment. I have the one and only from Maryland, Kingpin.
Thanks for having me, Rick. Always a pleasure. Like I said earlier, favorite place on the internet's being here with you, man.
And the man, the myth, the legend, or is it the other way around? Patriot in the dark.
So I finally find the mute. On this update, how you doing, everyone? I'm just suffering in with this technology garbage.
Good to see you.
Bad.
All right. So, I mean, I got a topic. I mean, we got another one, but I did write this down. Is under the one the new. I mean, if it all depends. If Trump is declared the winner, then everything's okay. If Biden becomes our new the 46th president, what I'm worried about being disabled and on Medicare is my health care. What is going to, as a disabled shooter or disabled person in general, I mean, right now I have I have I mean, because I'm disabled. After 2 years, they give you Medicare. And I have a supplement on top of that, and I use United Healthcare Advantage. And that one works good for me. And what I like, when I had the same plan in Rhode Island, and it cost me $42 a month. I moved to Indiana, and I called them up and said this, that. And they said, well, you come under a different district. So they put me in touch, whoever covers this Midwest, and my premium is only $18 a month for the same plan. So, and even now, where I'm going with this, in 2021, it's still $18. And I mean, it's not a bad plan. But what I'm afraid is, I mean, if we get Biden care or, disguised as Obamacare Part 2, I mean, is it going to go up and stuff? Because, I mean, we all know this. I mean, under that one, I lost my doctor. I lost my plan, even though it was promised to me that I wouldn't. So I don't want that to happen again. This is what I'm thinking. This is what I was thinking of as being, I suppose it could go to anybody, really, whether you're disabled or not. But I was just thinking, I was being selfish and just thinking of myself. How would it affect me on doing stuff? If I can't get what I need to keep going, it's you have to rethink things. I mean, that's where I was at on that. So, I mean, I know Kingpin and Patriot don't have that problem. Actually, Patriot, are you on Medicare being disabled, vet?
Okay, I think I found it. Oh yeah, I do, and I pay more, so I get the fancy one. They cover everything, but
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
But yeah, I pay just as much for the extra plan than what they give me. They don't really, it's just because it's mandatory. Because I think it's if you don't take it when they offer it, then it's really hard to get it later if you want it. At least that's how it was explained to me. So I pay for it all,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
I
But
mean,
yeah, but yeah, with those advantage plans and things like that, it is really important to make a list of whatever you have, whatever you have to take, any kind of issues that you have, and search them all out. I actually called a lady. Um, there was because I used to train disabled people and stuff on technology. Imagine that. But one of the ladies, she was having some issues because she takes XYZ, and the people that she had been going with had changed because they all like to move stuff around, and their tier ones became tier twos or whatever their plan was. And there was a lady at Medicare that I spoke with, and kind of basically just gave them a rundown. This is what the lady takes, gave everything, doses, all that, the amounts, all that kind of stuff. And somehow she had some kind of data sheet or whatever that just went through and said, well, these are the best two. This one covers more, this one covers just a little bit less, whatever. And so it is important, especially when there's open enrollment, which is
right now. It ends
through
December
December
7th.
or something or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
To take it, because just because you've been with one group for a long time and the price is okay, you can always check, because just say your doses change, or they throw in one extra little thing. Some of the plans actually cover things 100%. In like your name brands or whatever, you might pay a couple dollars more, but if you don't have to pay anything on some of the other ones, it kind of works out. And it's really really important to kind of take advantage of that, because if you're lazy and don't do that, then you could be stuck in something paying more, and more out of pocket monthly before you even get paid. And then obviously if you go to the doctor and stuff, I have to pay too.
Yeah.
So definitely take advantage of you call them up. There's, I don't remember what it was, but there's their 1-800 number, and it might take 5-6 hours to actually get through to somebody, or be on hold for a half hour or something. But if especially with the enrollment time, I think they might even have more people or whatever it is. But if just make a list of what you take, and if you have a parent or somebody that's on Social Security, you can help them out too. I did that with my mom. She's actually got some injections that she takes, because she's got, I thought she had rheumatoid arthritis, but it's the one with the S, psoriatic arthritis, which actually does your organs and your skin, not just your bones.
Okay. Yeah.
And so she takes a lot of different things for that are like crazy expensive, and things weren't being covered. And that's where you start calling directly to those companies. I know that's kind of off topic of what you're talking about, but you can also call directly to them and say, hey, I'm supposed to take this, it helps a lot, I can't afford it, can you help me out? And a lot of times they'll either write it off, they have secondary plans that you can do that, or you can even talk to your doctor, because most of the time they have their reps that drop off boxes of drugs they want to get rid of, or they want people to start taking, so they'll give you free samples too, if they're available.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Now see, I mean,
that was my PSA for the day.
Yeah, I mean, as I said, my plan, all the medicine I'm on is free. So I mean, that's if I do the mail-in thing, the 90-day mail-in thing. Yeah. All the medications I'm on are free. I get 90 days worth. Now,
see, with some of those, if you find another one, like that, all yours are free, and whatever your extra payment is a month, that's taken out on top of the A and B or whatever the Medicare is. You might find one that might be a little cheaper, or it's always good to check, because just because you have a good one last year doesn't mean they're not moving things around and juggling things around to get,
Yes, I know. I checked. My one's running the same again next year. So as Southpaw was saying in the chat there, we're basically 2021 plans are already set. Where under a Biden administration, 2022 is when we got to start worrying about it. But where I was going with this is, I mean, I do have, like I said, all my medications are free, except my doctor wanted to put me on Trulicity for my diabetes, where I have a weekly injection. And since there's no generic for it at the moment, as far as I know, it becomes, as you said, I think it's a tier 3 on my plan. Then the problem is a month's supply, my copay on that is $121. But my doctor put me at our local hospital. They have I don't know if this is state. I mean, I think this might be just in our state, is the Mary Potter Medication Resource Center. And they just sent me a notice to fill out, because I get it free right now. The company who makes it, who I can't think of their name right now, give it to me free. They deliver it right to my door through UPS. And I got the paperwork here to have it renewed for next year as well. So I'm pretty happy about that.
Yeah, that's a lot of those. You can go right online, and they may have forms you can fill out right online at their main site. It's just you have to track down who actually makes it. It's not usually just whatever the name is. It's the main company, and they have programs like that because they're making their money anyways, and to help out more people and get it out there. Because if a doctor sees that a company is going to give it, to people that can't afford it, he might be more apt to use that with other people too.
Yeah. What I was going to look into was, I don't have one yet, but I want a pistol brace because I'm disabled. I wonder if I can get Medicare to pay for it. What do you think?
It'd be funny if they approved it.
Yeah, I think you gotta have a doctor would just have to write you a prescription for it.
No, my doctor write me a prescription for anything, basically.
The best part would be the look on the pharmacist's face when you walk up to the Walmart pharmacy and hand him a prescription for a pistol brace.
Yeah. Hey, Southpaw's out on the chat. He's a pharmacist. Does Medicare cover one for me?
I think that those would have to go to one of those, the actual device places that it's not just pharmaceutical. That's where you pick up your beds and stuff, and they would probably have to. I don't know how they would do it if you would order it direct or.
Oh well, yeah. I mean, that's like
it'd be fun though. I'd do it just to bother them.
Yeah, I mean, like when I had my hip surgery, and even my scooter, I didn't go to no pharmacy. I was sent to special places, to go get it. I mean, like my scooter, then I was sent. I had to go get looked at, measured, and they had to test me to make sure that I needed one, before they would pay for it. And I passed. I mean, it's a shame to say I passed the test that I couldn't walk properly. I needed one. But also the same with my I did the same with my walker. I got an extra because I'm 6'1", so they got me an extra tall one. And same, and I've got from the last time I've got a bathtub seat that is about I don't know, it sticks out of the bathtub, so you can sit on it and slide yourself in, instead of taking that big step into your bathtub. I got one of those from last time. I'm just thinking because I'm going for hip surgery in January, so I got to dig that out of my shed that I got. And I even have an actual toilet seat frame that sits over the top of the toilet, where it's like having an extra tall toilet. But unfortunately, the way mine one's set up here, the bathtub is too close to the toilet. There's not enough room to put the legs down beside it, type thing, that I would need. So I can't use that. So I have to come up with a different solution.
Well, they make booster seats for a toilet. You can just
that's where I'm going to have to go with is one of those. While I have my hips healing. So there we go. Getting into a little bit detail there, but that was all paid for by Medicare or my supplemental insurance. Is where I was going with all that.
I'm just wondering, is that a freestanding unit, so you can take that camping?
What's that?
That seat?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It's got 4 legs. And he actually talking about that. It actually came with a little self-contained unit. If you didn't have a toilet underneath, like a bucket. So, yeah, I got one of those too. So I'm set. I think my scooter, Medicare or my insurance paid for it all except, I think it was, $300 I had to pay, for it, towards it. So, that wasn't bad, but like the walker and the seats and all that, I didn't have to pay anything for those. My insurance covered them all, which was good. Anyway, that was my thing on insurance that I was thinking about, because you keep seeing the commercials on TV that go on and on. It's all a sales pitch. They repeat the 1-800 number about 7 times in about 30 seconds. So, all right, moving on from there. I mean, that was nothing to do with disability, but I'm having a hard time finding small pistol primers. They're a rare commodity around here. Anybody got any spare? I've only got about 300. So, I mean, if the SH, if it comes down to it, I'm hurting. But I got plenty of large pistol primers. I can always go back to shooting my 45. So, if I have to. No. Oh, well. Yeah, okay. Now, Thanksgiving. Are we all gonna do this limited thing? I'm not. Screw it.
No. FTG.
I'm not going to do it. I mean, right now, down at Deb's Diner, where you guys know I hang out in the mornings now, people, normally when we're sitting there, a bunch of hunters always come in, and some of them, the guys don't know, but she's had 4 people call up the health board to say that, nobody's wearing masks, and the waitress isn't wearing a mask, the cook's not wearing a mask, and she told the health person, do what you got to do. She says, I ain't doing it, So right now she's still open. So we'll see how that goes here. That's my civil disobedience. Will not comply. I ain't going to wear one, So.
Well, our school district just, as of today, they shut down and they went online because my daughter's been in face-to-face for all year so far. And part of the school district has been, online only, but they basically shut down for 3 weeks. I think they go back December 9th, but they're the only district around that's going back. Well, they say they're going back December 9th. A lot of the other districts have already said that they're going to be closed and only online until January 29th. But it's actually, which I'm pretty impressed the way they did it. So my daughter's home every day now, so that's why I haven't been doing any videos. But she's got each day is only 3 classes. They're 2 hours each, so she still has a full day, but they're doing basically two days worth of work for 3 classes, and then the next day they do 4th, 5th, and 6th, and they go back to first. So it's kind of interesting, and they actually have more online time to actually talk with the teachers, because before, like the end of last year and stuff, it was just it was horrible. They didn't have any, they didn't know when they were supposed to have stuff done, all that kind of stuff. But now it's kind of really scheduled, so it's actually working out a lot better. And I actually made her read 4 chapters in a new Medal of Honor book that I just picked up. So it's going to work out better for us. She's going to get some good stuff.
Oh, that's good.
But yeah, so we're closed down for 3 weeks.
Make sure you don't put firearms in the background of her bedroom or wherever she does it from. Or you'll have to.
They just see the blind guy walking around in the background. Wait a minute, what's that?
Oh yeah, Rich White just said Biden's dumbass said today that we're going to have as many COVID deaths in the next 2 months as we've had all in 2020. So from what I can understand, the United States has reached 250,000 deaths from COVID. Now that's 250,000 if you look at it that way, and 1 is too many. But out of the size of this country, that ain't bad. You know what I'm saying? In percentages.
And anytime you have an accumulation, a tick up counter, it's always going to look bad. It's always going to look bad because the number's always getting bigger. It's not saying like, I don't know. It bothers me when, the total number is always going to get bigger every as time goes on, that number gets bigger. And that's pushed that way to make people scared.
Oh yeah, that's what it's all scare tactics. They're still trying to make the orange man bad before he gets out of office.
Well, that's what they said today.
G Webs wants to know, is that the book that is all official stories of all the Medal of Honors?
I ordered it, and it was actually going to be a giveaway for one of the first place winners, but it's way too damn big to send. And it came today, and it's a paperback, but it's a good 1.25 inches thick. It's got, this guy wasn't in the military, and he met up with, I believe, 24 living guys, like a couple from World War II, Korea, and Vietnam, and that's what this is focused on. But the first 2 chapters was just explaining how, at the beginning when they first made the award, pretty much anybody could get it, and it wasn't until World War II where they really locked it down to, But yeah, it's a really good one. I'll take a picture of it and send you a link to it. Okay. I'm impressed with it, and it's like newsprint, so it's really small words.
Yeah. All right. Okay, next thing is Kingpin and I were talking about this when it was just me and him in here before everybody joined in. I'm not sure if you got the end of it there, Patriot. The way the gun industry has managed to make, like they got the EZ 9mm now. That's soft shooting, easy slide. They've made a lot of firearms a lot easier to shoot and stuff like that. How come they? I mean, like when I shoot a shotgun, a 12 gauge, right? I can shoot it, but later on that afternoon or the next day, it aggravates the shit out of my arthritis in my shoulder. I can't move it for a day or two. How come they've never done anything to except for having some stupid rubber pad on the end that really doesn't do much? How come they haven't done anything to make the recoil of 12 gauge easier?
They have. Don't they have AR 12 gauges? They have a recoil system in there, right?
They do?
Buffer tube and all that stuff. I'm sure. If
Yeah,
it's
they have
AR based.
they have AR-12s.
Yeah, so anything that's got more of a recoil system in there, you know, that's going to make it different than just your, you know, pump action that locks it and that there's no give to it. I mean,
Right, yeah, but what my thought was is because they got the AA-12, and so I understand that there's semi-automatic shotguns out there and different. I'm talking about, but they're different guns, in my opinion. A pump
Yeah.
action or a break action, like a classic shotgun, is what I meant. No, I definitely understand the AR-10 and all that kind of stuff, or the AR shotguns and all that, but I was talking about like your classic shotguns.
Well, see, a classic shotgun kind of resembles more of like a bolt action rifle, right? Where the action locks up until you know, cycle it, right? As far as what I'm thinking. So that, you know, like a bolt action rifle, that's gonna, you know, be more punishing than something that's got, you know, a recoil setup in there. Does that sound right, or am I?
Yeah, no, I understand, but I'm talking about like if I take my Mossberg 500 out and put a 12 gauge shotgun shell in there and pull the trigger, it's gonna snap. How come they haven't made that why haven't they come up with a way to make that standard, everyday 12 gauge less punishing? You know what I mean? If that's the word, I guess.
They do have the Gula mini shells, which are still 12 gauge, but less powder, less shot, and a lot less punishing.
So I mean that would do. So what you're saying is like go use a less powerful shell.
Yeah, they have these called Aguila. I'm mispronouncing it. I'm not sure if it's a G or a Q, but Aquila or Gula mini shells, and they're instead of 2 or 3 inches long or 2.5 inches long, they're I think 1.5 inch or 1 3/4 inch long.
Oh, yeah.
The mini shells we were talking about before the show, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Two Live Moose says they make low recoil shot shells. So that's
the way you can do it. Action though, it's kind of hard to have something that you can lock up like that isn't. I mean, I guess a semi-auto is going to be less than a pump action, just because of the design as far as the pushing back the bolt.
Yeah, they make adapters for the Mossberg pump action, and I know they work good in that. I've tried to find out if it'd work in my 12 gauge automatic, and they don't. They're just not enough to push them.
Yeah, that's what they use in the whatever you call those things, the little fancy ones that Rich has out there that he made all pretty with the wood. Those
the
Shockwave. I'm sorry.
Shockwave.
I'm I've had a teenage girl sitting at my house all day, so my brain's kind of fizzed out.
Well, there's a couple people out in the chat. Midnight and Two Live Moo and Rich White are all talking about like different recoil absorbers, and Midnight mentions a spring in the stock maybe, and then Two Live Moo was mentioning that you need an adapter to shoot the mini shells on some of your shotguns. But I guess that kind of, I mean, we can keep talking about it if it's interesting.
Yeah, I think but I think that's the way. I mean, like with me, I've got a pump action 12 gauge, and that thing is brutal. I mean, no, when I'm actually shooting it, I don't have a problem on the day. But I said it's normally either a few hours later or the next day. It sort of aggravates the arthritis, and it flares up for a day or two. And so
I think that has to do more with like the adrenaline of going out shooting a shotgun or any gun for that matter.
Now,
I don't know.
Now with your pump action, does that make you sore as well? As far as using the forearm end? Sorry, my words aren't working.
Why?
Like racking it with your left hand or whatever, does that hurt? I'm leading you with this question.
Well, I shoot it left-handed, so I rack it with my right hand.
Oh, okay.
I shoot pistols right-handed, but I shoot long guns left-handed.
I was just going to suggest if it kind of hurts to rack your shotgun, you could use one of those Riker grips on your shotgun. And,
yes. Yeah.
What is a Riker grip? I haven't seen one.
I will have to send you a link.
Yeah. Actually, they're quite neat. Actually, I've never bought one, but I've always been planning to. But so
yeah, if I can pause up here,
that's good for people with disabilities to hold on to their firearms with, long guns mainly.
I've got the it's like a Shockwave, but it's automatic, and it's made by Remington. It's called the VTech 13 or something like that. But it still kicks. I think I'd really like to get like a 20 gauge.
Who's E. Honda says you speak with a Southern and yet English accent? Is he talking about me? I'm mixed up. That's why. I don't know where I'm living at half the time.
That's that Rhode Island accent.
Oh no. I mean, yeah, I picked up some Rhode Island, I guess. Something like some of that Boston accent is rubbed off on me. So. Oh well. Oh, there was somebody put in the chat there. I think it was Travis T. about shooting 380s and stuff. They hurt his hand. Now, normally the smaller guns do, but that 380 EZ that I have, I mean, that is one of the softest shooting guns I've ever shot. I mean, maybe because it's got a fluted barrel, because I got the Performance Center one. I mean, the recoil on that is real light. And it's easy to rack. So maybe look into that, Travis T. I mean, mine's very. What about yours, Kingpin? You got the 380 too, haven't you? Easy.
Oh yes, sir. Indeed, it's kind of like you don't even notice that the gun goes off if it didn't make a sound. Like if the round went off silently, you wouldn't feel it. The gun is maybe 3 pounds or something like that altogether. It doesn't feel like anything in your hand, but when you pull the trigger, there's just no recoil to it whatsoever.
Yeah, I agree with you. So Travis T, you need to look into that. Okay, E. Honda's out there, says can't find 9mm, but can find 40. Except I don't have a 40. That should tell you something about why you can find 40, because nobody likes them. But I'm looking at a Taurus PT 100 for $400. Good price, good gun. Well, I heard they are. People badmouth Taurus, but a lot of that is somebody repeating something somebody else said. I mean, every gun manufacturer has guns sent back to them because they're bad. outside of the United States, Taurus is one of the biggest gun manufacturers in the world. So, they're going to have, people sending guns back because they break. But I think in the last few years, they've got pretty good. I mean, their finish might not be as good as a high quality gun that you might buy here, but for a reasonably priced firearm, I think they're very good guns. And
yeah, not bad. Sorry, Rick, I thought you were done.
Yeah,
My bad.
Go on.
Let's say I've gotten to shoot the PT-100. It's not a bad gun. I'm not a big fan of 40, but not a bad gun, like I said. But I do think $400 might be a bit steep on it.
But in this time,
but that could also be the current market.
But that could be due to the shortage of guns right now. If you want,
that's what I was saying. It could be because of the current market. So
yeah. Oh, he says it's stainless, so $400 for stainless ain't bad. But talking about Taurus, and I was what was I? Who was I listening to? I can't remember. But they make I can't think of the number, but they make the Beretta 92. That is a Beretta 92, except with a Taurus name on it, because they bought the factory in Brazil with all the machinery. So it's made just like Beretta made it, except Taurus bought the factory and everything and all the machinery and tools that go with it. So it basically is a Beretta 92. And so that's not a bad gun known either.
I don't really have anything bad to say about Taurus.
I got a little Taurus 38 special snub nose. Now that thing hurts like hell to shoot, but where I've gone is it's a good little gun. I don't have no problem. I've had no problems with it being Taurus. Bought it brand new.
Yeah, the only issue I've ever had with my Taurus when I first got it, if you look at the cylinder where it comes out on the left-hand side, there's like a little screw at the bottom. And about maybe every 50 to 100 rounds, that thing keeps coming loose. But I mean, if you have a screwdriver on you, it's no big deal.
Okay. Well, I mean, I said I've had no problems with mine whatsoever. So I mean, if I was after another gun, and and I saw one, it was good price, and it was Taurus, I would have no problems purchasing it. I wouldn't have any second thoughts because I've had no problems with mine, and a lot of people I know never. I mean, back in the day when I used to watch a lot of Yankee Marshall videos, he doesn't have a problem with Taurus, and Never Enough Ammo doesn't have a problem with Taurus. They've never had bad things happen to them. So, I mean, but as I said, any gun manufacturer, every now and then you're going to get a bad gun. It just stands to reason. They're machines. They're tools.
Look, yesterday I watched a video from Budget Guns and Gear, and he had 1022 with the little barrel magazine. And I commented in the video, I said, I'll never buy a barrel magazine gun because I've never had one feed more than one round. And he commented back that he's never had one fail. So just like that, he's had, perfect success with the little barrel magazines. I've never got more than one round through one. So, and then Defense Dad put out a video about the Beretta APX, and he wasn't a big fan of it, but I really love mine. So, I mean, a lot of times that stuff goes that way. I think Taurus makes a fine gun. Yeah.
I mean, Travis T says, my Taurus pistols have all been solid. Yeah. I'm not saying years ago there might have been some suspect ones, but, I mean, that's like Rock Island. 1911s out of the Philippines. They make the last, I don't know, 10 years, they started making a real solid 1911. You know, I believe they got a new guy in there a few years ago. You know, and he turned the factory around, and I mean they make a nice 1911 now. I mean, I got a nice Rock Island 1911. That thing is solid. I mean, it's tight. And it's shot everything I put through it. You know, so
surprisingly enough,
you're
good.
What I'm saying is, yes, it's nice to be able to buy the Smiths and Wessons, the SIGs, and all these American-made guns. You know, but if somebody's into shooting and they're on a budget, these other guns aren't bad. You know, so I would not hesitate looking at Rock Island for 1911s, Taurus for other guns. You know, I wouldn't have a problem, and I'm not ashamed to say I own one. You know, a Taurus. So personally, but we were talking about my 380 originally, but yeah, go on.
I don't really understand.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'd like to go back to that, Rick.
Go ahead, Barbecue.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say with the 380s, a lot of times when I've talked to anybody that's had an issue with a 380 hurting their hand, it's normally in a handgun that's very, very small. One thing about the EZ Smiths that I find is they're still a fairly good size frame. It's not, a full size or anything, but it's a frame that has a decent amount of grip to it where you can grip it comfortably. That's like I've heard people talk about, they're shooting a 44 Magnum. They're like, man, this really hurts my hand. Then you put a bigger grip on it and it's a night and day difference. And in my experience from talking to people that have had issues with 380s, it's a lot of times ones that are very, very tiny.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I could understand that. I said my EZ is a sweet shooting gun, and you're right. It fits in my big fat hand, nice. So yeah. I mean, it's not full size. I think it's slightly smaller than. I wouldn't call it a compact. I'll say it's slightly smaller than a compact.
It's the same size as a Shield, though, isn't it?
I believe it is.
Yeah, so it's the grip is a normal size. I think it's not like having a C camp or something like that. That's really itty bitty. The grip size is about the same, I think, as like a Shield.
Okay.
From what I've seen, I don't have. You'd have to ask. David might know, but because I had that BDA, that Browning BDA 380, and that was a full size. I mean, it was enormous. It felt like a full size pistol, and it was only a 380, but it was metal and wood grips and all that stuff.
Yeah. I just want to comment on the thing here. I mean, about Honda wanting to buy that Taurus for the. I mean, I don't know if you're big enough to handle a 40. I think you ought to stick to 380 and 22 right now. Be honest with you, that's what I'm thinking about with Honda.
Hey, Rick,
I'm not sure if he's ready to go up to the big boys yet.
Did you get that email, Rick?
What?
Did you check? See if you got that email. It
was
just about the Riker grips. It's just.
Yeah, I got it.
If you could put that link
in the.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna bring up my chat. Okay.
They have slings too.
This is the link for the Rider grip in there. Riker. Sorry.
Yeah.
Riker. It's not spelled the same, but it's pronounced the same as the prison, I guess. Riker.
Good prison. Good prison.
That's what I heard. Oh, you should know. You're from the city.
Hey, Rick, do you put that in our chat or the one online? The one on YouTube?
I can put it in our chat. Hang on, let me put it in our chat. I keep forgetting to use our chat.
Yeah, it's RYKER.
They have a YouTube channel, and I think was it like 2 episodes ago he was on Ghost Tactical Show.
Oh,
Yeah, he's been on there a couple times.
Yeah. So
I think he was even on Rick.
I had him on this show last year. Yeah, which was pretty good.
Now I know somebody that shoots trap a lot in a wheelchair, and he uses a bullpup shotgun, and he likes it because the barrel's not, 35 inches away from him. It's pretty compact.
Are you sure he doesn't have the bullpup AR-15?
No, he's got I think the Israeli one.
His bolt must not go forward then.
They call it a bullpup because it kicks really bad.
Yeah. So. Actually, mind you, back up here, getting a bullpup shotgun, because the way they're designed, wouldn't that make the recoil less?
Why would it be less?
I don't know, because the way they're made.
It's still a shotgun either way you look at it. It's not doing anything to the recoil.
Well, your stock is just really short, right up to the receiver. There's really no. I don't know. Semi-auto or something.
I mean, I'm not saying they are, but I thought just by thinking about it, because they're designed different.
No, they just moved the trigger and the pistol grip forward of the receiver, and the receiver is just closer to your shoulder.
I mean, the Tavar is semi-auto, so maybe it does tame the recoil a little bit.
Yeah, anything that's going to have some kind of the recoil setup is going to be different than just a block of wood on the back side of your receiver.
Yeah. I think for my little my pump action, I'll just have to buy me one of them rubber pads to put on there. See if that'll help me. Or start loading what you call it, soft shooting 12 gauge shot shells. You
could just make it a bayonet and make it one big knife.
Yeah.
Well, that's the nice thing about having a pump. You can pretty much shoot anything out of it since you're not using the pressure to cycle the action. Right? I mean, that's kind of like having a revolver. You can shoot pretty much any load in there because it doesn't, I mean, obviously not excessive, but.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
Because it's not used to cycle the action. So it's not like the semi-auto is not going to work with the lower stuff. I know my stepdad bought a bunch of those. He came across some 22 shells and he thought it was the best deal ever until he found out that they were those Hush ones that. And he says, I don't have anything that'll work besides my bolt action. It's like, well, yeah. So now you got 5,000 rounds with your bolt action. You should be set for a while.
But now with the 12 gauge, if you're using like the less lethal ammo, like the beanbag rounds or the pepper ball, is that still the same recoil or would it be different?
So I don't know. Anybody know? Guess not. You got us all dumbfounded there.
I'm not sure what they would load that with.
I think if you look at the foot pounds per per square inch or whatever, that 1,300 or 1,200 or 1,000.
He's getting all technical on us now.
Well, the 12 gauge, whenever they say the 1,000, those are the pretty soft shooting ones compared to the 1,200 and above.
Midnight Range says, go get a Limb Saver Air. They're great for recoil reduction. Never heard of it.
That's a recoil pad?
Yeah, Limb Saver, they advertise something like 70% or up to 70% recoil reduction.
Oh yeah. Let me write that down. I'll have to check out their website. You know, because real honestly, I have not shot that shotgun since I moved here to Indiana, and I've been here 2 years now. I've cleaned it since I've been here. It was clean anyway, but I cleaned it again. Basically, oil, just making sure it was oiled and stuff. So, but I won't shoot. I don't shoot it because I don't want to deal with the aggravation of my shoulder afterwards. Because yes, I'm not the big. I could grin and bear it, but I don't want to. I've noticed as I've got older, I've turned into a wimp. It's really upsetting. It really is.
Is it a wimp, or you just turned out to be smarter?
I think I'm smarter, but as E. Honda says, he's not sure if I'm man enough to handle a 12. Maybe I should go with a 410. Mind you, talking about the 410, I know everybody says they're useless, right? But I sure do like the looks of that Henry 410 with the lever action. To me, that is a sweet looking gun. But
I like them. I got one, and the only thing, I pestered gun channels people for a while about the 410, especially Clover, and he warned me about the cost of the ammo. But thankfully, I was able to get like a whole big box of mix match boxes of ammo from a guy, and for a pretty decent price. So I haven't had to go to the store to buy it. But I love shooting that thing. It's a blast.
yeah. I mean, I do. I mean, that lever action 410 by Henry, it's a sweet looking firearm. It really is. And I mean, to me, when I use a shotgun, I'm only basically plinking with it anyway. It's not that I'm using it for self-defense or hunting with it. I just shoot it at a target, So, it might be worth looking into. Maybe I might have to get one eventually. Because every time I mention it, certain people try to talk me out of it. Then I start second guessing myself. You know what I'm saying? Then I end up not buying anything.
Maybe you could trade your 12 gauge for a 20 gauge shockwave.
The ammo price for the 410 is the only thing, and like I said, that's pretty much what everybody warned me about. Was, it's a little bit pricier than it should be, but that's about it. But I mean, how much you're not going to buy 10,000 rounds of it? Buy a box of 20, and so what if you had to pay some more for it?
And they got to be pretty easy to reload, or is it difficult because they're so small?
I don't know, but it's something to look into. Maybe reloading 410s.
Yeah, because I mean, shot shells are supposed to be pretty straightforward. I mean, 410. I mean, just be the size of them or whatever.
It's the same thing. He said it's a skinnier. It's a skinnier cartridge. That's all.
Aren't they? They're about the same, or they're the same size as the 45 long Colt. I mean,
yeah, basically, not much bigger because what is it? One of those tourists, and it's what makes one of those guns that can shoot 45 Colt or 410 shells.
Yeah, the governor and the judge.
Yeah, so they got to be near the same. Are they? So they're near the same size.
Yeah.
I think that the 410 would be slightly longer. But still fits inside the cylinder of those revolvers.
I did look at the Bond Arms Derringer, the over-under. The only one he had there was the 9mm, which I wouldn't get. But any of those you can swap out, I guess, the barrels too. Switch them over to a different caliber and stuff. That's a really heavy one too.
Yeah, yeah. So I think that's going to be my next purchase. Screw it. I'm going to start saving up for the 410 lever action. You know?
I got a question.
I'll be walking down the street with my pimp gun, my 380, Performance Center, there with the gold barrel and, gold trigger and the grip safety in gold.
Guns and Barbecue already made a nice drop leg holster for you.
Then have the 410 lever action in my hand. Oh, man, I'll be
Riding your scooter.
down the street and there go, don't mess with that guy. So that's what I'm thinking.
But there's no reason that you should. I mean, if you want it, you should get it. And if it costs too much, then wait another month to get it. If it costs that much more, wait 2 more months to get it. But go for it, man.
Yeah, it's trying to find what you said. Now the price of stuff's going up, because of the situation right now. So, but I'll see what I can find. I'll see what I can find out there.
Yeah, if you find one that's reasonable price, put it on layaway. That way you can lock in the price.
Yeah,
that's the problem with just saving money in your piggy bank. Is as you're saving money in the piggy bank, the price of the item could be going up. Where if you could find somebody to put it on layaway, you could lock in the price.
Yeah.
Assuming it might take you 6 months to a year to pay for it or something like that. Not if it was going to take you 2 weeks or something.
Oh yeah. I'm looking to see where I can get it on layaway. I know I could check out. I don't know if they have one, but I'm sure they have a layaway program. I belong to that. Bud's Gun. They have that thing they have where you can join and you get discounts and special privileges. Like layaways on certain firearms that nobody else gets. And I joined that a couple of years ago. The only reason made me think of it was they took out a payment automatically out of my bank account this month.
What about that?
I forgot I was a member of it.
What about that Sportsman's Guide place?
I'm a member of them too.
Yeah, I don't know if they do payment plan. I don't know how it works.
Yeah, they do. They do a 4-month payment plan. You pay it off over 4 months.
There you go.
What I like about that is they send it to you straight away. You don't have to wait the 4 months before you get it.
There you go.
So that's something to look at. See if they carry it. They don't carry every firearm. Oh, I tell you what I'm bummed out about today, though, is I lost my goddamn pocket knife, my EDC pocket knife. It must have fallen out of my pocket somewhere, because I remember I know I went back and looked, and I guess somebody else picked it up, because I remember when I was down at Deb's, I had put my car keys in my pant pocket, and I normally don't do that. I normally stick it in my shirt pocket, but for some reason I stuck them in my pants pocket, and I got a feeling as I'm walking out it's a gravel parking lot, and I got a feeling when I grabbed the keys out, it must have caught the knife and flipped it out of my pocket. Because God, if I can find it anywhere, it's pissing me off. It wasn't an expensive one, but it was one I got. I got it for being. United States Concealed Carry Association. It's got their brand. It's got their name on the blade. It's a Kenshaw, but it came from them. It was one of the free gifts they gave you for joining or whatever. It was just a nice knife. I liked it, but damn, it bummed me out. I've been bumming out about it all day. So I
you gotta be more aware of your surroundings.
Do what?
You got to be more aware of your surroundings, man. You can't. If you got the knife in one pocket, you can't put your wallet in the same pocket. Just
I know.
Like the same reason, don't ever put loose stuff in your pocket and then put it. Like if you got $10 or $15 in your pocket, don't put anything in that pocket because when you pull your glasses out or your wallet or your keys, all your money is going to be on the ground somewhere.
Well, see, that's the thing. I let my guard because I was.
You can never ever let your guard down. You have to
Well,
be fully tense
and
and
I did.
highly aware 24 hours a day.
And I did, and that's how I lost my pocket knife. So everybody take that as a warning. Never let your guard down.
Never.
Never, not for 1 second.
You know. And what I'm
Sleeping
saying,
is really not
I think
bad.
it hit the gravel, and I didn't hear it. You know, because I'm making noise, huffing and puffing and grunting and groaning, getting into my vehicle. You know. So there you go. So I got to come up with a new pocket knife. Damn. I saw a nice one. I can't think of the name of it, but it was actually I'm talking about that on Sportsman's Guide. It was $120 something odd dollars.
Rick, you got your membership, and then there's half the people on gun channels have affiliate links.
Well, I used it. It was $125, I think it was, or was it $130 something dollars? And being a member, it dropped down to $125 or $29. Then what's his name, Such. For every $100, you put his name in, SOOTCH, and you get another $20 for every $100 you spend.
Now, is that because he's a big guy, or would somebody like Gizzard Gary have the same discount? Because what I would say is search that out, because Such is a big dude who's, he don't need no help. But if Ghost Tactical or Patriot or GunTube or Gizzard Gary, they have the same exact discount. Use one of those guys.
Yeah, you got a good point. Good point. It's only I just happened to know that he said it on one of his videos that that you use that and you get $20 off for every 100 you spend. And I haven't heard anybody else say it, but I don't listen to everybody's thing.
Rick, there's a knife on Amazon. You could get it anywhere, but it's called American Buffalo Knife and Tool, and they go by the initials AB KT.
Yeah.
And it's made in America. The elite ones are made in America in Tennessee, and they're just really nice. The opening, they got micarta grips, real good steel. They're nice knives. I've got one. I carry it a good bit.
You should check.
Highly recommend it.
Sorry, Will. I'm sorry.
Yeah, highly recommend them.
My fault, man. I apologize. You should check with G-Webs, Rick. I think he might have a knife that would interest you.
Well, one of his bayonets.
Oh, he just put it out in the chat that he found a really nice knife in some gravel parking lot.
That wouldn't surprise me. What was the initials again there?
ABKT.
Okay.
And then look at Elite. That's the ones that are made in America.
All right. So that's
I got a question for you sighted guys that go to the gun shops all the time and have so much fun and can see that stuff.
Yeah.
My local shop's he's got a couple things, but he brought up a Masterpiece Arms. It's the 9mm, but it's the 30 round. What do you know what that looks like? Is it like a Uzi kind of thing, or what?
It looks like a Uzi, exactly.
Like a Tech 9 or something. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there you go.
Okay. They're made in real close to my hometown, near Athens. They're made in Conyers, Georgia.
Oh, so okay, all right. So
I know
they're not a turkey gun or something. Okay. And it's 9mm, so it's for little girls, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm looking for Christmas presents for the daughter. So.
You sure she won't be offended by you giving her a 9mm?
She'll get what I give her. She probably would. She'd probably write G a letter and say, "Hey, you know what can I do with this old fuddy duddy?" But no, I just called them my local shop and said, "Hey, what do you have that's super regular capacity that everybody thinks is high capacity?" And that's what he had. Everything else, is just normal. So
there you go. Oh, goddamn! It's 8:05.
oh man,
When you're having fun, I ain't even done
wait, you got a date?
Well,
You
no.
didn't tell us?
I'm getting hungry. Now I got to do my quiz for Saturday. Because I believe I've only got one entry. What I wanted to know, I can't pronounce his name. Samo Simia Heiha. I don't know. He's a Finnish. He was the Finnish military sniper. What I wanted to know is what firearm did he use, and what did the Russians nickname him? This was during the Second World War. It was called the Winter War, I believe it was, of 1939 to 1940 in Finland. And I want to know what firearm he used, make, model, and all that good stuff, and what was the nickname the Russians gave him. Email me at rickslifeasiseeit@gmail.com or spottedrick@gmail.com. There we go. Get that to me by Saturday lunchtime for the swag pack. Also, I want to do a real nice swag pack that I got a bunch of cool stuff from G-Webs in the mail. And I thought I'd do a nice giveaway. But I want a good question. So if anybody's out there has got one, you think a question that I could use, of course you won't be able to enter. Send it to me with the question and the answer. I would appreciate it. So just wanted to mention that out there. No, I don't have a hot date. I ain't had a hot date in a long time. But no, I'm getting hungry. You guys know I don't eat before the show on Wednesdays. Why? I don't know, but I guess I don't want to, get the stuff, cook my stuff, sit down, eat up, then get up and wash up, clean my mess up, then rush in here.
So since Rob's not here, you said you're going to have a salad, right? Rob's not here. You don't have to make it up.
Well, I'm not having no salad tonight. Yeah, where is Rob? Yeah, that's right. I know I have been eating a lot of salads. I said because I'm losing weight. I mean, even though I'm going to have my hip surgery, I'm still trying to lose the weight. I need to. I want my artificial hips to last a long time. Because the heavier I am, the more wear and tear on them than a normal person will put on them. And I don't want to go in for another operation, sort of like in my late 70s, early 80s. I want these to last until I bite the bullet, sort of thing. Rich White said you don't eat before the show, so you don't have to run to the toilet. Possibly could be one of the things too.
Real quick, you said, have you got any entries for your quiz yet?
Hang on. I've got where's my mailbox? I got one.
Okay. Well, DJ Play Nice was asking if you got his email. I guess he answered.
Did he?
I don't know.
When did you enter? No, I ain't received it. I'll check. I'll check my. I don't think I deleted any. I'll check my trash folder and I'll check my junk. My junk mail folder in case it went to the wrong place. But no, I haven't got the only entry I've got so far is from 2 Live Moo, who won it last week, by the way. So, I just wanted to say that, he could be, if nobody else enters, he could be the winner again, So, all right. You guys got anything else you want to talk about? No, we'll start winding it down then. We'll go through the, shout outs and plugs. You got any, Kingpin?
No, man. Thank you for having me. Always a pleasure. Everybody have a good night.
All right. I appreciate you being here as always. You add a bit of culture to the chat. So, where did I read it or hear it? Isn't there a court case, Maryland? The what's called Second Amendment Foundation's taking your state to court over your carry law or something?
Yeah, there's a bunch of stuff. They've actually been both Second Amendment Foundation, the Firearms Policy Coalition, have been pretty active around here. I get quite a few emails from them. I don't qualify to enter into what they're doing, just because of the way things have worked out. What they're looking for actual litigants that have a case, and as opposed to just people who want to complain about a constitutional right. I filled out for one about the constitutional right that they're infringing on my rights. All the ones I've been getting now, they want an actual litigant, somebody who has an actual case to go to court with. But they're definitely pretty active. It's good to see, and I'm hoping the best that we can see some better days around here in the 2A world.
Yeah, I mean, even though it's looking more and more that Biden will, he will have cheated his way into the presidency. I got a feeling early 2021, we might have some good 2A wins in the courts and stuff like that. I just got this feeling. I don't know why. I just have.
Well, if the House seats hold up the way they are, there's a lot of decent conservatives, according on paper. I don't know if these people are. I mean, they're politicians, so they're probably all rats anyway. But there's a bunch of decent conservatives that have been elected to the House. New House seats. So it's a trend going in the right direction. If all that holds up and it turns out to be that's what it is. I mean, who knows?
Yeah. But unfortunately, what the Democrats just have a 10-seat majority now in the House.
Yeah, I'm not too sure. I know the last count that I saw, the Republicans picked up 11 seats, but they lost one.
Yeah. What I was reading was like where I was going with this is like Pelosi being the Speaker of the House 2 years ago when they voted her in, right? You have to have at least 218 votes from your party to win. And because they had such a big majority, 15 Democrats voted against her, right? And if 15 voted against her this time, she wouldn't get it because they don't have that big of a majority.
I think that either way, she was out. Even if the Democrats swept and had a giant blue wave and just completely dominated the House, I think Nancy Pelosi was done regardless.
Yeah. But she's been nominated again with nobody opposing her.
That's only temporary. AOC is not going to let that stand. There's no way.
Yeah.
I was just going to say that.
Anyway, you got any shout outs or plugs, Patriot?
Oh, I don't know. I've been working with Second Amendment Foundation, but they seem to be on the West Coast. And when I call, the guy just gets in there and says, "Hey, my boss ain't going to be in until later. Can you call back later?" And then by the time I do, I get stuck on things like this and some other things. So I keep missing the guy. But there are 7 more Second Amendment Foundation memberships available if you're so willing. Check out I guess it might be the last video I made. I haven't made a video in so long, but yeah, I should be doing something. My kid's here, and she's worth the extra time. And so when she leaves on the weekend, I might pack a couple videos in, but I'm kind of on a hiatus. So if you guys are willing, check out the Patriot 1776 project. I'm horrible at self promotion. I know I seem to always talk about it, but I never. I mean, Ghost says, "Hey, talk about it," and then I'm like, "Oh, go check it out." So I don't do a good job, but yeah, I got some really good stuff in today. I'm waiting for some shippers. I actually ordered them so I could be cool like G, but I bought all black shippers. I got new labels. Got everything set up. I'm just waiting for the stuff to show up so I can stuff it full and get it out to the 5 winners that we've already had. And once, obviously, I get a hold of the Second Amendment Foundation, I'll get those guys' memberships out to them. And like I said, there are 7 more to win, and that'll be going on for a while. So if you want to get involved, go ahead. And if not, just check them out and check out the stories that are already posted. I got a playlist of them, and like I said, I did buy a book that I was going to send out, but once it got here, it's way too dang big. And so if I do send it out, I'll just buy another one and send out because I got my kid reading it.
Yeah. Hey, if you do buy another one, wait till somebody's won it, then have that as the sending address.
Yeah, it's really good because I was going to do that at first, but then it's like, well, I want the stuff because I want to shove all sorts of this stuff I got stacked around here in there. So I was going to do that, and I was like, I'll just buy one, and I bought a whole bunch of other kind of random ones, and then this one just happens to be, the size of a full, it's a big shipper that would have to go in because it's a big one, but. Yeah. I actually glad it was a mess up because that was one of the things I said. If my daughter goes back on, online schooling, she was definitely going to be reading, some historical books, some things like that, because it's my job to make sure that she knows that stuff and to make good decisions. So if you got kids out there, make sure that they're reading. If you got a neighbor kid, give them a book that, like this one. This is actually their words of the guys that won or received the Medal of Honor. They didn't win it. They received their recipients in their own words. So, when you got the Marine on Guadalcanal talking about it, he's talking about in his words, not literary words, not all cleaned up by some stinking editor. And so it's kind of nice because that gets the kids interested when you read, some old guy talking about, the stuff. So,
yeah,
pretty good. But I will put this out because this book I'm impressed with it so far. So I will I don't know. I'll put a video about it or something.
All right.
Check it out.
Will and Well Armed, you got any plugs or shout outs?
Yep. If you're watching today, give Rick a big thumbs up. Needs a couple of those. And then I've got some movies coming out. And I'm also reading with my son, who's 9. We're reading The Sacket by Louis L'Amour. And we're starting all the way back with Julio Sacket and before he even moves to the States. From England, so we're starting all the way back in the 1590s or so.
Oh yeah, I mean, those are pretty good books. Actually, I've read them all.
Yeah. But anyway, give Rick a thumbs up. Rick, appreciate you having me on the show again, and got a few videos coming out next week, so we should be good.
Okay, great. I want to say thanks to Guns and Barbecue. Blind Shooter, who were in here earlier. A Blind Shooter normally drops out because he's working, and if something comes up, he's sort of like I don't know. He has to disappear if his boss doesn't see him or what. I'm not sure. And Guns and Barbecue was having connection issues tonight. So anyway, I want to say thanks for them for stopping by as panelists. It was good. Anyway, I want to say thank you to everybody in the chat tonight. I really do appreciate it. Rich White is putting some good information out there about how many seats the Democrats won and lost and all that good stuff. And so is G. Webb's got some good stuff out there for Patriot, which we're telling him after the show. So anyway, I want to say thank you to everybody else that was in here tonight with all the info. It's been great seeing you. I'm glad you're here. And I'll be back again on Saturday at 3 p.m. Eastern, the only time zone that matters. So I will say good night and see you all later. Bye.
Bye, Sabrina.
All right, we're over.